Hey, welcome back to the channel. All right, we've got another amazing one for you. Tim, just back from the Max vs. B McG. It was amazing. It was incredible. It goes to show you, no matter how well a player is currently playing or how well they've played last week and the week before that, we just don't know how it's going to go. Max is an amazing player himself in his own right. Don't want to spoil it because I do think people should see it. It just shows you, like, RNG, Battlegrounds, anything could happen. Before you can tell, we've got both of our competitors going here. I'm going to show you the group standings so you know what is on the line here. This is Group F. Legacy. Legacy is winning it at 2-0 with a +3 differential. We checked our math quite a few times. We are pretty sure he has advanced. Now, he has not won the group, but he has advanced no matter what happens to him in his matchup with Spinnaker 3 later on this week. Infamous and Mu8s appear to be in a complete and total in-and-win scenario here. They win, they're in. They'll have the heads up. I guess, actually, now that I look at it, if Spinnaker is able to pull off an upset there, an upset because Legacy is 2-0 and Spin is 0-2, could we end up with no, we could not end up with a three-way tie at 2-1. So the winner of Infamous Mu8s, Bryce, advances two amazing players. Let's see how they go. Looks like one stream is a little bit ahead of the other. I'm going to welcome my co-commentator here in Nerd. How are you doing, buddy?
What's up, man? Doing good. Just finished up my war fight, so
Beautiful in the Alliance Noon, perennial top 3 Alliance and more. It looks to me like Infamous's stream is a little bit ahead of Bryce's here. So I'm going to go ahead and pause this up. It looks like it's actually quite a bit ahead. And I'll wait till they line up here. And I think that's about to happen here in just a second. That way we can see both of these things happen kind of simultaneously. And then I see everyone in the chat. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here. King Luis, Tilatam, Zach Richards, The Strands. What's up, bud? Long time no see. Ricardo, how you doing, dude? Judah. What's that?
Black Cat pick. What? I really like that Black Cat pick for Nick Fury. I know Infamous has been using Black Cat a lot on his streams, and he's really good with her. So I really like that Black Cat pick.
Yeah, I think that, when this was happening, this meta, and this first started, I tried putting her in there. I just don't enjoy using her, but you can see the potential. You can see the power if you know how to use her and what she does. Anytime she's causing something to fail, and you've got the sabotage on the defender. So there's a lot there. There's a big buildup, and then just, if you play it right, though, just absolute melt. So I'm excited to see how this goes. And so we're just saying hi to everyone. P-dubs, after last match, I don't think I can be surprised. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. All right. Here we go. Looks like Slay was on call. It looks like he left. So it's you and me, Nerd. Tell me what you're seeing, buddy.
Hello.
Is this working now? Sorry,
Yeah.
my internet bugged out a little.
No worries, man. How you doing?
Doing good. Just
Cool.
Bugging out.
Yeah, it happens, man. It happens. We got time. Let me make sure we've got everyone at their highest visibility settings here.
Oh yeah, the quality of the streams.
Yeah.
I like that Nimrod pick for the Penny Parker.
Yeah.
And yeah, Black Hat, exactly what I would have gone for both plays here. Infamous has done this matchup a whole lot of times on his streams, and he's really good at it. So I'm excited to see how he does with Black Cat here. Hopefully Nick Fury can play along, and we get to see some fireworks with her.
I haven't seen this. I have not seen this exact matchup as far as Black Cat versus Fury. She will not cancel out the second life, right? I mean, he's done it perfectly. He's got the sabotage on. He's going to make things fail, which will keep that going and pause it. But he will still trigger his second life, correct?
Yes. Yeah, the second life will still trigger.
And
second
he will,
life, no matter what, always triggers.
Yeah. And he will still also shrug the sabotage debuff. Yeah. So
yep.
This is interesting.
You really want to be ready for your L2 after that second life, which it seems like Infamous is pretty close to his L2.
Yeah, he's got it
See
set
how
up.
this goes.
Well, I'm paying so much attention to that one. It looks like Bryce has done really nice work against this Penny Parker here in that kind of trouble zone that we can find ourselves in. I'm going to try to mess with the screen ratios a little bit on both of them, see if we can't see Bryce's power bars a little bit better.
And Infamous ends it like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really, really good player.
It's a great matchup.
Fantastic
Yeah.
fight. And that was played like picture perfect. Very well done.
I hate that this is gonna make me want to open more of these features.
To get Black Cat.
Yeah, bro, like they're all evading me, man.
Yeah, she's really good.
Nimrod versus Penny, it's actually a pretty good matchup. The issue is if she just decides to throw an SP1, or if she auto blocks you at like one charge, it really, really throws off Nimrod.
Yeah.
It was a good attempt, and at least he got her down.
For those in the chat, that's what Black Cat can do, right? I know like Marcus put out a video of her just absolutely destroying Labyrinth of Legends Rolk. She can, if there's something she can cause to fail and you time it up, like Infamous made it look very easy there because he's so good with her. If you can get that SP2, get the calling card, I think it's called, going back and forth, and then you've got the passive, I don't remember what it's called, Cruelty, I think. And then you get the card on them with the SP2, which is lands the sabotage. There's a lot of steps in there. He just made it look very, very smooth. She can be fantastic, like you just saw.
Nerd, I'd say this matchup is in Infamous's favor.
I would agree. Yeah, I mean, you can get the RNG fireworks with Joe Fixit, but Infamous has done this fight versus me, and he's done it really, really well.
Yeah, this fight, and the advantage that Infamous has here. This is a SIG 200 Killmonger, so the reverb is going to be a bit more. But the advantage that Infamous has here is that his Nimrod is rank 4 SIG 200. So the SP2 is going to be huge. The biggest issue with Joe versus Doom is just luck. That's essentially it. Like, if you get a lot of those 7s, you're getting a lot of lifesteal. As you can see, his health bar is going up.
And here we
if
see
you can stack bleeds like
those 7s. Oh boy.
And
Yeah, that
Infamous
is what you
lost
wanna see.
Extinction Protocol, which means he has to build back up to that.
There you
And he
go.
also has the Energize, which means if he takes any more blocks
And
hit,
yeah, Bryce just ends it right there.
Yeah, Bryce ended it.
that was
Holy
that was
moly,
crazy.
Holy moly, Joe's right, B. What's up, Yusafa?
that was crazy.
How you doing? Thank you so much for being here.
One of
Tim,
the-
Joe for the win. You got it right. So right off the bat, we got a 1-1 matchup here. Go in and see who can win this first round.
Yeah, one of the mistakes that I'd say Infamous made was throwing that SP1. I just personally, when I use Nimrod versus any matchup, I just avoid it. And as you can see there, the Energize is what really got him there, because he couldn't get back up to Extinction without getting to an SP3 because of the Energize.
That's you said that's a rank 4 SIG 200 Dimrod?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that again, you don't need the energy vulnerability. One SP2 is going to melt either way, and we saw Joe get really lucky there.
Yeah, well, that's the RNG we've talked about, right? It's not just in the draft. It's not just in who you ban. It's not just in the makeup of all this. It's also in the fight itself.
Mm-hmm.
Like already doubting Mr. Fix-It. Absolutely, that's what he does.
This is Infamous is in a tough spot here. It's you got to pick your poison here. Either die to Hood or Kingpin melts whatever your science champs are.
So
goes for the Hercules on defense. I think that's the right call.
It's absolutely the right call.
Can fail that Fate Seal, because if that fails that Fate Seal, it's gonna get a lot slower.
Yeah, and Infamous Scorpion is actually rank 4. I've confirmed that with him, and he's very good with him.
And this feels like the old announcer jinx here, but Bryce is one of the best Hood players I know, and was on how good Hood was, especially in Battlegrounds, very, very early. So this is like two excellent players using two of their best weapons right now.
Yeah, as we see, that Infuriate cost Hood a couple of those Fate Seals.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Scorpion's making pretty quick work of that Doom up there.
Yeah, he is. But Bryce is getting extremely lucky with those power steals. Like, he's built up to 2
There it
SP2s
is.
back to back. And
There
he
it
headied.
is.
Wow.
There it is.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Amazingly
dude.
well played. I have a feeling he's got experience knowing exactly how many he needed to build up and pop them. And then that's how I have a feeling this is how this whole match is going to be like this. That could have gone
I'm not sure if you guys
either
saw
way.
that. But literally every bullet was a power steal.
Oh,
So
yeah.
he just got up to an SP2 immediately twice. Or it would not have been that fast.
Yeah.
That was,
is amazing.
Holy cow.
I really think we're in store for 5 rounds of that. I really do.
I really hope so, man. Like,
Yeah.
Just knowing both of these guys, having watched them play, seen their videos, attended the streams, like this is what they do. Max,
if I'm Infamous right now, I wouldn't be too worried though, because a lot of that just came down to stuff you can't control.
yeah, but he doesn't know that. See, I think that's one of the things about Battlegrounds, right? Is like you don't know, at least the way we're doing it, you don't know what's happening with your opponent, right?
I think Infamous does though, just because he plays Joe and Hood.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
Well, he knows, like, okay, if he got a time like that, then Joe must have gotten extremely lucky with bleeds.
Zode,
You know,
I actually was worried about doing the broadcaster curse. I was like, I don't want to curse either of these guys. They're both great guys, and they both were getting to use some of their favorites there. It's one of the joys of putting on the tournament is I really like everyone. Dream and Slay is basically Jelly 2.0.
That is
Well,
accurate.
it's not true because
let's not worry about it.
unlike
Let's
Jelly,
not.
I constantly slaughter
Let's
Dreamer.
not. All right.
I know.
So here we go. So Infamous has been able to get Domino and Human Torch, and now we see
Ooh.
Wiccan make an appearance.
Oh man, Bryce with Wiccan is scary.
Oh yeah.
So for those who are just tuning in for the first time or haven't seen one of Bryce's matches, Bryce's Mu8s, by the way, because we're not sure if Wiccan is still causing the bug where he can just crash a fight when he's on defense, Bryce cannot use his Wiccan on defense. It's in the rules. He agreed to it. I understand the desire to use Wiccan because he can be so powerful in the right matchups. I feel like that's also a massive disadvantage, though, where you just know that one of your attackers can't be used. I guess you two, though, Nerd and Slay, you're used to that, right? Having dedicated attackers.
Yeah. And also he pulled Gallon.
Yeah.
Ooh, but this is it's gonna be rough for Infamous here.
Yeah, Infamous has a fine deck. Like if you look at who he's got, these are champions you want, but Gallon has a way of taking advantage of removing advantages. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, essentially you can place Gallon against like your most hated matchup and win that matchup. That's essentially what he does. And yeah, that is a rank 4 Elsa, Dreamin'.
Yusafa, ooh, Gallon, me likey. Speaking of which, Yusafa advanced today, so congratulations to make it to the knockout round.
Eric is wondering why Infamous didn't ban Gallon. He banned Killmonger, Tigra, and Overseer. 2 of the champs Bryce is amazing with, and the other one is just an annoying defender that he has at SIG 200.
Yeah.
For what it's worth, I've actually beaten a Gallon a couple times. I think it was against my Retra though, so yeah.
I honestly don't
Infamous
agree with this
is-
decision here. I think Infamous might take this round. I would have just thrown this round.
This is Bryce going with
Infamous
comfort.
is gonna have a very, very quick fight here with Elsa.
Yeah.
This is a pretty quick matchup. And Wiccan versus Nick Fury, it's not too slow, but it's definitely gonna take like at least 80 seconds, so
Yeah,
Infamous
it's just
has
about
some
the
time.
second life. That's essentially what it is.
and hoping Nick Fury doesn't throw ones, but he seems to be doing that here, which is rough.
Yeah, you guys are in for a treat here to watch Wiccan melt health bars. The only issue is that he has to melt 2 health bars.
Yep.
He's getting a nice. He's playing it well though. So for those who don't know, what he's done is he's put up a neutralize on Fury, and then when he's hitting the block, it should be triggering that you're seeing that buff fail, buff fail, buff fail, and then not only is the buff failing, but it's putting up that incinerate, which is why you're seeing all this damage.
Wow.
But as you both called, Infamous it really is melting that null. Bryce would need null to kind of do something here. He'd install. Yeah, that just didn't happen. Infamous took him down too fast. It was too good.
Yeah, it's just a really good matchup for Elsa, and Wiccan's a very good matchup for anyone in this meta. It's just the issue is Nick has 2 life bars, so when you have 2 matchups that are equally good, the defender that's going to take longer is going to win, and in this case, it was Nick.
Yep.
Very close though.
And Nerd predicted the time spot on as well, 80 seconds.
Yeah. And yeah, Bryce was running in equity, so he did have a chance for that Elsa to go a little bit longer with an equity, but she's still just super quick.
Mm-hmm.
So Infamous jumps out to the lead in round 2 here. He's up 1-0. Trying to update the board live for everybody because this one is so intense. So much is on the line for both of them.
That's a pretty good pick for defense, but my suspicion, the reason he did that, and it's actually quite clever, is he has 2 champs that place poisons, but Infamous only has 1 poison immune champ, and that's Nimrod. So he decides, I guess, to throw this round and save it for the next round. However, because of that, Bryce has Gallon for the next round.
Yeah, this was definitely played well by Bryce.
Yeah. And Scorp is shocking me. Yeah, good point now.
Yeah. I think it might have been worth trying to go for the Hail Mary of going for Torch here, because that 3rd round is going to be really difficult to win.
Yeah.
But Nimrod, it's probably the best domino counter in the game, so this should go down steadily.
I'm curious
the
if
best domino counter is Mordo.
If he goes for straight for the SB2, I think he probably will.
Yep. He might even trigger Bulwark. That sometimes happens with enough armor ups.
He had 12.
Yeah.
And you know what? She went lucky, but it landed. He ended up fine there.
All right, Bulwark is bugged. That crit on the SP2 100% would have triggered Bulwark.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that bug is unfortunate. Yeah.
All right, so we're tied up.
Is playing the Scorpion well.
1-1.
The round goes. I'm expecting to see that Warlock on defense from Bryce.
Yep. Or he could go I-Bomb. Either one is not bad.
Yeah, I think I would go for Warlock to try and get some health loss going.
I'm going to take this opportunity to remind everyone in the audience, please go support these competitors putting on this show for us. Their channels are linked both in the description of this stream and also in the chat. That's the pinned comment in the chat. And then if you're enjoying the knowledge you're hearing shared here by both Nerd and Slay, make sure you support their channels as well. Thank you.
The thing about you said like you put Warlock on defense for the health thing, right? But if you go Nimrod, you don't actually lose any health against Warlock. All it would be ability accuracy. So one of your shocks might fail from your SP2.
Yeah, and I mean, Nimrod is definitely slower versus Warlock than he is versus I-Bomb. So I mean, either you take the quicker fight Torch, or you take the slower Nimrod fight.
Yeah, fair enough.
Poison with those two.
Strands is asking Scorpion is good. Yes, it feels as though we have finally come to the conclusion that Scorpion is good.
Yeah, and there's really nothing that stops Gallon.
Yeah.
Who's essentially like the cheat code of this meta.
You pretty much just have to hope Bishop throws that L1 immediately.
Yeah, something could go wrong. It could happen. This is not a foregone conclusion.
Right, but something can go wrong.
But it is weighed heavily towards Bryce at the moment.
Right, Bryce just thinking through his options. He put Gallon on defense.
Wait, what?
That is.
Am I seeing this wrong?
No, you're seeing that correctly. I'm not exactly sure what he was going with there.
I think he made a mistake.
Yeah, and I believe Gallon has energy hits as well, so that a torch is gonna be pretty quick.
He has resistance, like a way to get energy resistance buffs. But I don't think it's that reliable.
It's got to be a mistake.
Yeah. Like, yeah. I think if he'd gone either way, I-Bomb or Warlock, he was set.
Yeah. And then you see those smolders from that L2. He's playing very, very well to not get those energy resist buffs on Gallon.
Yeah.
So yeah. Getting another L2 baited, that is what you want to be seeing. But now the harvest is triggering, and that is...
Took a lot of damage, yeah.
Yeah.
But now Bryce's, the bishop down there did throw his SP1, so we're going to start seeing those incinerates. I don't think this fight's going how either of the contestants thought it would go.
I think if Bryce just finishes at the health he's at right now, he wins.
Yeah, I think Bryce has this. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see Infamous shaking his head. He's not happy with that. Yeah.
All right. So Bryce Mu8s now has a 2-0 lead, 2 rounds to 0. We've seen so many comebacks. I say it every time, and it's been happening a lot. So this is far, far from over. Looks like Infamous is going to take his 3-minute break. Every contestant is allowed 2 of those. This is well within the rules, and I think it's a smart call on his part. Mr. King, what's up, buddy? Thanks for being here. Yusafa. That is what you have to deal with in war, Gallon. But if anyone can deal with it, Yusafa, it is you. You know what I mean? I have faith. I really do, actually. The SP1 is that was crucial. That did play a huge role. You're right.
Oh, hey, Ricardo. How's it going, man? Sorry, I haven't been looking at chat. What's up, buddy?
And yeah, definitely go on the nerd train instead of the slave train.
Yeah.
Nerd train?
I think
that's the trail. That's the train that's going to derail. I don't know if you want to go there.
I mean, yeah, like half the time.
I do think, hey, but half the time it doesn't, right? So I do think we saw that Gallon does have some use as a defender too. I don't think that was purely not knowing how to fight him. The harvest can kick in, bad things can happen.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So maybe that was actually just a big brain play by Bryce. I was so certain it was a mistake, and maybe it wasn't.
It's not that necessarily it was a mistake. It just felt like more of a risk than the other options, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. This is big. A lot of pressure on both of them. They've gone through 2 weeks of group play.
Yeah.
Fighting against each other, competing for the right to make it to the knockout stage, to the round of 16.
Yeah. Selfishly, I want a 5th game, though.
Yeah, I kind of always cheer for that. It's just so exciting.
Yeah. All right, here he goes. He invited Bryce.
I think Eric has pulled up both streams, which I appreciate. Like I said, thank you for supporting all the contestants, all the summoners, all the competitors. And Eric has informed us that Bryce did mean to place Gallon, so that was just a big brain play.
What Infamous has going into this match is Bryce gets to place first. So this is now his match to get some momentum going.
Yep.
Okay. And instead of banning Killmonger this time, Infamous instead decides to ban Hood. And Bryce sticking with the same bans. Eric is saying Infamous came down from 2-0 down yesterday against Amanda in the server tourney, and that he believes in him. I don't think anyone would be surprised.
Yep.
No, nothing is surprising in these tournaments.
Mm-hmm. So I'm glad Infamous went Doom there. He just makes Cersei such a non-threat.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem like any other counter does it as well as he does. So I'm just glad he made Cersei essentially, I wouldn't say completely irrelevant, but very close to irrelevant on defense.
For sure. The Nimrod pick for the Domino there, and the Sasquatch is going to be pretty slow fight.
And
that is a perfect 5. All 5 of those are like the 5
yeah, you'd want.
to see. That Starkey is amazing for Nimrod and for Nick Fury, and then you've got Elsa and I-Bomb who are amazing, and then you've got Penny, who's one of the best defenders. Goes for I-Bomb and Penny. I think those are smart picks. Trying to grab that Sasquatch counter with I-Bomb and going for Penny for defense, which definitely do very, very well.
Who do you think he'll use? Because I saw that Penny has a potential use for Bryce's Nick. Who else?
It's Unawakened though.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, good point. Yeah. So that is probably just a pure defensive play then in picking Penny, right?
Yep. It doesn't look like Bryce has any counters outside of Nimrod. I guess he could use Cersei. I'm just not exactly sure how that would work with Bulwark and how hard she hits.
I have seen some decent Kingpin fights, but it's a very tough one.
Yeah, and if I was him, I'd rather save Kingpin for the I-Bomb or Scorpion that could be placed on defense.
Or even the Nimrod, maybe.
Yeah, and so he goes. I like the Nimrod versus Iron Man Infinity War. I really think that's a smart decision.
Yeah, he was quick. Like
I think
screen
we've
had
seen Infamous do.
Yeah, the screen wasn't even refreshed yet, and he was already picking Nimrod. So he obviously felt good about that.
Yeah, I think we've seen Nimrod do this. I think we've seen Infamous do this exact matchup in one of the previous rounds of the tourney, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. The parry into reparry really helps ramp Nimrod's armors. So you can get a nice big SP2 that's also unblockable. It's not going to get auto-blocked. It's pretty nice.
Bryce is very, very comfortable with Cersei, so maybe he can pull something off here.
Oh, we got the shield down.
Auto block on the first hit of the L2 isn't nice, but it does get that shield down, so.
What, 9 Furies here. He did trigger Bulwark, though. Not surprising.
Yeah, that is the danger with Cersei when she gets so high on those Furies.
If this
It's
SP
going pretty well.
If this SP2 from Nimrod doesn't kill Iron Man, I think we might have a Cersei win here. This is just shaping up that way.
I think it'll be close.
Bulwark is back on cooldown.
Oh, no, there it was. The explosive personality was triggered. So there's a lot of health left. But the SP2 doesn't kill. This is going to...
triggered Bulwark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be very close.
This is going to be extremely close.
Oh,
Because it's going to take a while before Infamous gets to another SP2.
Yeah, I don't think... Is he even going to get to one?
No, he is. He energizes up.
I believe with the math, he needs to get to it before that timer hits 20 seconds to win.
Okay, and it looks like that's going to happen.
Yeah, I think if he can do that, he might be able to pull off a win here if my off-the-top math is correct. And it is.
How did you do that math that quickly? I think the most impressive thing of the evening was just Nerd doing that in 5 seconds off the top of his head. Oh my goodness. Wow. I was ready to give that to Bryce, just based on my obviously incorrect understanding of the scoring and not having Nerd's math skills.
Yeah. What a nerd, I know.
That's got to feel good for him, though, because he needs that. He needs a momentum shift. He's been in every single round, but to take the lead, I think that's got to feel good.
Okay.
It's going to be interesting to see if Bryce decides to either use his Joe here and then not have a good Doom counter, or use his Kingpin and have a risk of losing this round. He goes for the Kingpin. I think that's the right call.
I think I would have thrown this round. Honestly. Just
what do
because
you mean by that?
I think I would have just put, Nimrod on defense next round, put Sasquatch against Maw, and then just win with Kingpin or Joe against Doom or Eyebomb on defense.
Oh, Bryce lost the first round, so he has to win both rounds.
Oh, never mind. Okay. Well,
Just gonna throw the round.
That's not, I'm down 1-0. I'm gonna throw this round.
Just efficiently get to the fourth round, right?
No, yeah, it's mind games. You know, let Infamous take one, let him get comfortable, and then start playing again. No.
Domino-
Don't listen to me,
Infamous
guys.
is getting a really decent start here with Domino.
I was gonna
That
say-
is, you know,
Yeah,
Decent. That's the best Domino start I've ever seen.
Domino's doing domino things up there.
This is once in a lifetime Domino RNG here.
He would have liked to have already pushed Dick into Second Life a while ago, though. There was a couple of chances for that to happen. It just didn't. Meanwhile,
because if Infamous is having the advantage going into the Second Life of the Nick Fury here, as Bryce has not been going too quick with this Kingpin.
Mhm.
Oh, that is a big crit there and another bleed.
What?
That is really good.
Domino's doing domino things. Uh-oh. He took a risk.
Oh, and now he's getting that bad AI. Oh,
Oh, no way.
and Infamous has it.
Okay, I was about to say.
Nick Fury really tried to save Bryce there. It
Yeah.
seems he is
Trained
an
him
effective
well.
Pokemon trainer.
Yeah, Fury definitely
It's
was
not enough.
doing what he could for Bryce.
That one armor into the block was just decisive there.
That's about as well as you can play it. Kingpin vs. Maw.
All right.
That one armor into the block at the start was just decisive there. It does so much for those. Damage
Bulwark is definitely not working. It's only for metal champs right now, Eric. It's bugged, unfortunately.
Yep.
And now we're on to the fourth round.
Infamous knew, and he's being a bit of a good sport about it, or else we'd see Sunspot and stuff in his deck. So
Yeah.
I'm glad for that. All right. So Bryce invited first, right?
I don't remember.
I think he did.
Yeah, Nick definitely did everything he could. He was really trying there.
So Infamous doesn't think twice, goes for the same bans because he's like, listen, I won that game.
Yeah.
I don't need to change anything. And right now we have Bryce who's thinking, is there anyone else I need to ban? And he decides to stick with his bans. Immediately goes to Nimrod. He's like the Swiss Army knife of Battlegrounds currently.
Seems like a real comfort spot for Infamous too.
Yeah. Interesting that he goes with Venom.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what that Venom is for. I guess he could do Penny, maybe.
Yeah, but extremely slowly.
Yeah, he doesn't
And,
have
it is armor break immune, so you no longer get the quicker shield breaks or the removal either. Yeah.
Yeah, what you'd have to do is hit into block 3 times, and then SP1 to get rid of those armors, hopefully. And then, yeah, it's going to take forever.
We see a little cheering from top right for his alliance mate, which is totally justifiable.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, R4. Oh yeah, Bryce's hood is R4.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he was on hood early and showing off in the server.
Oh yeah. I completely forgot he was R4.
Yeah.
Only someone in my battle group.
And sending out that R4 hood and work, it's probably just an R3.
Ooh. Something that Bryce told me was that he always loves putting his R4 Terax on defense. And he finds that R4 Terax and his Asig 200 wins a lot of rounds. So I'm kind of interested to see how Infamous handles this.
I thought we were about to get to see it, but he switched it up at the last second.
Oh man.
It's gonna be rough.
I am wondering what the Venom's for. Like, I was like, no, that's Venom Pool that's got the whole degen against robots, right?
Yeah.
I wonder.
And he goes for Nick Fury versus Killmonger.
I would have gone Nimrod.
We've actually used to do this back on the Stun Reflection Mini in Alliance War a lot, and it's pretty quick, but you gotta play it perfectly.
Yeah, Mr. Negative versus Doom is also quite quick. The issue is because Doom is so overtuned, Mr. Negative ends up taking a lot of block damage, since his main way of building light charges is parrying.
Yep.
So yeah, it really comes down to if you miss a parry or something, it's gonna hurt. But Bryce decides to go for an SP1 to get the bulwark.
Get the bulwark up. Yep. Now he's got to race to that SP2 though, right?
Yep. And he can't really convert too much. He can't really gain too much light energy, which he's already at 5.
Yeah.
7 now, and he can't. He's not even at a bar of power.
On my stream, he did convert. But he's got to race to that SP2. He might get there.
Okay.
He's gonna get there. Heavy into the SP2.
No, he doesn't need to heavy. He has 20 dark.
You know, I think you guys are just like a few seconds behind me. So I was more saying what he did.
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
The Fury, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. That's a really cool way of using Mr. Negative.
That was impressive.
Very efficient takedown.
Yeah. None of that will not surprise me. We've been seeing that from these two competitors, and I will not be surprised if we continue to see it tonight from both of them.
That was awesome. What the hell?
That was incredible.
Yeah.
And really smart use of the bulwark off of the SP1. I've done that fight and come away so disappointed with how much block damage I take. Should have used the SP1.
Yeah, he missed the parry, right? And that did 800 damage. And normally against Doom, if you miss a parry with Mr. Negative, it does 2,000 damage. So that bulwark really made a difference.
I'm seeing
Goes into the second life here to try and conserve some health, but it's already over.
Yeah. He doesn't know that, and I like that he's fighting until the end, you know?
Yep.
And I think we can welcome DLL to the call. What's going on, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. Gonna have my match with Highline in a bit, but both of us took some extra time to eat.
Ooh. You gotta eat. You gotta get your energy up.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Bryce...
And yes, it was pizza this time.
Pizza DLL. And now...
Nobody is shocked.
Bryce has a chance to close it out. Infamous needs this win.
Yeah. So we saw Suida earlier take Terax ridiculously quickly with Swidgel.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that's his mindset here.
Yeah.
Scorpion, I believe Bryce is going to go Nimrod just for the poison immune. Maybe Penny, but I assume he wants her for defense.
Interesting.
Oh, he goes Penny. That could be because Penny is arguably a better nuke than Nimrod when they're the same rank.
Yeah, I think he's relying on Terax to slow it down enough. He's shock
immune. I keep forgetting Scorpion's shock immune.
Yeah, I was actually surprised you said Nimrod because I was thinking Null or Penny, but yeah, that would be why.
I've been Nimrodding everything, so I Nimrodded a Korg earlier today, so that should tell you.
Yeah, you just use a special trait.
You know what though, Infamous, just kind of going back, Infamous is taking a significant amount of damage. You brought up earlier, Slay, Bryce's Terax is not your normal Terax. It's a rank 4 Sig 200.
Right.
And he's doing quite a bit more damage than I think Infamous probably expected.
Uh-huh. With the rank, people are used to fighting Teraxes that are low Sig, rank 3.
Yeah.
And that means the rock field doesn't last as long at the start. But with Infamous, with Bryce's Terax, it's R4, so it's a rank ahead of the attacker you're using.
Yeah.
On top of the fact that he starts with significantly more power. And suddenly, every second that rock field ticks, it's like... it's like having Nick Fury's bleed on you at some point.
Another thing that I think a lot of people miss with Terax is that he has... Oh, Bryce messed up there. He has block penetration in his kit, and that is something that improves with rank.
Yeah. Block penetration plus increased attack in rock field.
There's a couple of things that really surprised me about both these matchups. Is But what I want to ask you guys about is why did that SP2 not kill Scorpion? Those incinerates did not feel like they were doing much damage, or as much damage as I was expecting.
I think some got burnt auto blocking because of the evade.
Okay.
She still threw that SP2 with 12 charges.
Yeah, I mean, I expected so much more damage off of it. I mean, it was still impressive, don't get me wrong, but it was not what I feel like we usually see out of Penny. That just surprised me. I was hoping one of you guys would be able to. What's going on? Wait, what just happened?
What happened?
Is bugged out.
Oh my, that's so tragic.
Yeah, but there's nothing we can do.
There's not much we could do about that.
He did.
Yeah.
He won that one.
Nerd, you're the scoring guy. He had won it, right?
Yeah, he absolutely won it.
So for those who don't know, who are watching and kind of listening to us all not say anything, just be a little bit in shock, is the rules of the tournament are no matter what happens, if it's a crash, a bug, or something like that, we score it the way the game scores it. We've done that for efficiency. We've done that for viewing experience, and also because this kind of ties into efficiency. Is there's no way to recreate that. It would take us forever to get the same decks and all those things. It came up once in Manny versus Clown. Fortunately, in that one, the person who had the black screen was pretty clearly had lost. And then it happened with myself and Slay. And while it was in the first game, it was pretty clear I had lost. And if this can happen to anyone, I hope it happened to me, not one of the other competitors. This one stings a little bit differently, and yet we can't change the rules. But it does. This one stings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that. Felganos, I think, is making the really intelligent point, and that's how I feel. Is it sucks for Infamous, but it also sucks for Bryce.
Yeah.
But there's literally
knowing Bryce, he's gonna be beating himself up about that for at least a day.
Yep.
Yeah. It's the thing is like what stings about this more is that there wasn't really a clear winner in round 3 either.
No.
Based off the drafts. So this could have been an amazing game. It could have gone either way, but unfortunately that happened. And again, the rule is placed because it's a good rule. I'm sure, I disagreed with this at first as well, but you can't recreate a game. Unfortunately, there's just too much RNG that goes into the draft that you just can't have the same game twice.
Yeah,
and that's the biggest issue.
Yeah, I think. I mean, you said there wasn't a clear winner in round 3, but just looking at those, I'm making myself feel a little bit better because I actually favor Bryce pretty heavily in the last rounds.
Let me take a look at the things.
Because if he places Nimrod, then Infamous's options are Nimrod, Venom, and Bishop. Obviously, Bishop's out. Venom is not going to be that quick. Nimrod's not going to be that quick. And Bryce has Cersei available, who can take any of the other 3.
Yeah, you're right, yeah.
Like, I've seen Bryce take Bishop with Cersei, and it's scary.
No, yeah, I absolutely agree.
Okay, yeah, I'm saying that more for the audience. So I think it absolutely sucks. I feel really badly for both of them, but I think Vega said, yeah, there was another one where there was a clear winner. I wouldn't call this a clear winner.
Yeah.
But I'm making myself feel a little bit better about it not looking quite as out of the blue as it felt.
Do any of you guys know how to get Infamous on call here?
I'll ask him.
If he'd be willing to step on. Yeah, I mean, and an incredibly frustrating experience, I think, for both of these guys. You see them both handling it with class. I mean, we actually saw their messages back and forth to each other. I mean, I know Bryce doesn't want to win that way, and I know Infamous doesn't want to lose that way.
Yeah.
I think that's been. There have been a number of times during this tournament, or just in Battlegrounds in general, where I've said, like, God, I hope that's not how I lose. That's such a worse sentiment than losing.
Yeah, I meant it when I said that, like, I think we all knew that it would happen at some point. I was glad it happened to me.
Yeah.
As the person who came up with the rule and kind of ran things. Yeah, Meta, seriously, two of my favorites in the tournament. Love these knuckleheads. They're both great.
Yeah, they're both awesome.
They're both awesome
it sucks
guys.
that it had to happen in this game.
Yeah.
This was arguably like the most hyped do or die match between two extremely amazing players. So
yeah, this was kind of like, hey, Bryce, how you doing, buddy? How are you doing? How are you feeling right now?
I mean, I feel really good about it. Infamous played so freaking well, man. I hate the fact that there was a crash right there in that last round that we had. I don't want to win like that, but it is what it is.
Yeah, that's what we were all kind of saying. Is you guys both played exceptionally well. You're two of the best contestants by far in any tournament you enter. And to see it go that way, we knew that you wouldn't feel great about it, and obviously, Infamous isn't happy with the result either. I do appreciate you both kind of accepting the rules for what they are. Bryce, if you don't mind holding on just a second, are you able to do that for just a minute?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, thanks. I see Infamous join the call. Infamous, can you hear me, bud?
Yeah, I absolutely can.
Hey,
Yes.
really sorry.
Hey,
I've been on here saying that I was kind of hoping that I was the only person that would happen to. So I'm sorry that it happened to you. How are you? How are you handling this right now?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have words for that.
Yeah.
I felt like we were putting, I'm talking about myself in the third person, yeah. I felt like I put myself in a good position there to, I think, win that round.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really hard to say.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like you said, the rules. It sucks to lose that way, but at the end of the day, I lost 2 rounds before that, and they were tight, they were competitive, and that crash could have easily happened to Bryce instead of me. So
Yeah.
Sure.
it is what it is.
I appreciate you taking that attitude. Before we ask you any other questions about it, as you know, I invited you back to the next tournament. I do have the rule about scheduling because I want to take care of everyone who's competing in the tournaments. You and I talked about that, and I think you understand it. I also told you that I'd be open to test cases, especially because of how this just happened, but because you've been so amazing throughout this whole tournament. If you would like to play in the next tournament that I'm hosting, you know the dates, and you don't have to answer now. I would really love for you to kind of be our test case and see, like, can a person play in multiple big tournaments and not affect scheduling? You've been amazing. You've been awesome. You're obviously highly skilled. You're a great person, and I appreciate you doing it. So if you want to answer now, cool. If you don't, like, think about it. You got plenty of time. But I at least wanted to offer some consolation of that. I know it's not the same. I know you'd rather have finished this legitimately, but it's at least some.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. I'll sleep on it for a night, but fundamentally, I'm a little bit too obsessed with this game mode, so I'm probably gonna say.
Absolutely. Is there anything else you wanted to comment on? Like, one of the things that had come up in the stream earlier was that Bryce's Terax is a rank 4 Sig 200. You obviously handled it well, and it looked like to me you made an adjustment mid-fight, like maybe you realized that. Is that what actually happened, or was it a different experience in the fight?
Yeah, so I've taken that fight specifically many times in friendlies, but not all of them have been Sig 200. The experience was vastly different with the Sig 200 just because of the length of that initial rock field. Because I just want to parry a couple times at the start there, build some power with MD, and then you get to an SP2 and everything kind of just lines up and you just kind of spam SP2s at him and he's dead in about 1 or 2. I've done it against other rank 4s that just weren't Sig 200. And then I saw I got too much damage. I also had like the role of getting all of the buffs that she can possibly place on him at once. So I got pushed to an SP3 instead of like just placing 1 or 2. So the fight was a little off the rails from the beginning, but the adjustment was just, I mean, throw this SP3 and then just get as much damage in. Those degens tick really hard. I took a little bit more damage than I wanted to, but it was kind of off the rails from the beginning, to be perfectly honest with you.
You adjusted phenomenally, and you know, for all intents and purposes, you on our end looked like you had come away with the win there. Is there any questions? We got a couple of people on call here, a few people, not a couple, a few, that anyone else wants to ask Infamous, before we let him get on with his evening?
I had a bunch of joke questions lined up, but I don't think it would be appropriate now.
Yeah. Let's.
I'm always in the mood for a joke, man. Even after that, it's all good.
Hey, man, you've been talking this huge game about Sam Cap, but I didn't see him get drafted once. What's up with that?
Here's the thing, and it's funny because Amanda's in my chat right now, but we had the server tournament match against Amanda, and I kept drafting Cap Sam to try to force him, but when I looked at a lot of people's defensive decks, some of his best matchups just weren't really getting placed, and I did a lot of research on Bryce's deck ahead of time, and I just saw that I really wouldn't need Cap Sam for any matchups, and so I decided to take him out. And as Nerd probably thinks it's the best decision I've ever made. Thanks.
So let me get this straight. You just looked at a deck and was like, "All right, he's not great," and this is your conclusion for every Battlegrounds deck. Am I correct in saying that?
No.
I was really hoping you'd like to say yes.
All right, so we do have a real question here too, which is, you didn't ban Gallon, and did you feel there were other bans that were more important? And then additionally, were you shocked when you saw Gallon placed on defense?
Yeah, so I wasn't surprised at all. I kind of figured that was what he was going to go with the remaining options. I really thought I could get him down before Harvest because I noticed that he was... Again, I thought I had a good matchup there, and I just needed to delay a little bit. And Torch with Nova is just a stupid champion. So, I think maybe I should have turtled up a little bit more and just tried to let the Nova Flames tick him down and not even let him throw that Harvest triggering SP2. But it was not a surprise to see him on defense because he's got a big health pool and he causes some unavoidable damage. It was just my best estimate for winning that round. It obviously didn't work out that way, but yeah.
Yeah. All right. You're obviously welcome to stay on call, but I understand if you need to go. A phenomenal performance throughout the tournament, from beginning to end, and ultimately the ultimate sportsman there in accepting this. And I just apologize to you for the way it turned out.
It's all good, man. Appreciate again you putting it on. Appreciate everybody in my group, specifically Bryce. I know you're on call. Legacy and Spinnaker. 3 really fun matches. 3 very different results. Lots of emotions. So it was a great time. And at the end of the day, play this game for the community, and you guys made it awesome. So appreciate it, and good luck the rest of the tournament. Bryce, kill it, man. Thanks, dude.
It was a great matchup against you. So. We knew that it would come down to me versus you, and I respect you.
Yep,
you played awesome, dude.
Same to you, man.
Group F, the group of death.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to do it. Sorry.
Not your best work, Slay. Not your best work.
I'll just go back to the Sam Cap questions then.
All right. Well, thanks again, Infamous. We appreciate it. Bryce.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hi.
Hey, so I think maybe we just heard it, right? Because you hear from the smart players, and you often think similarly because you are so smart at it. There was a little surprise on this end that Gallon got placed on defense. In fact, I even said I thought it may have been a mistake. I'm feeling it wasn't. Can you talk us through that thought process a little bit?
Yeah, so I actually had mentioned that on my stream as well, where I knew that he was going to place Bishop no matter what I ended up doing. I can't remember which one of us picked first in that round. But I had Warlock available, and I really thought about placing Warlock on defense because he didn't have a good option for him. But I ended up choosing to place Gallon because I didn't like the idea of having to use Gallon versus Bishop. I think that I could have done it, but the Warlock versus Bishop I was a lot more comfortable with in general. So I was kind of just banking on maybe Gallon being a pain, and he ended up working.
It definitely worked out that way. Does anyone else have any questions for Bryce?
I think I'm good. Yeah,
Okay.
it was I got here a little bit late, but looked like a great matchup.
Oh, I did have one. At DL, I also just sent you a direct message via Discord. Bryce, I don't remember exactly which round it was, but there was also some discussion from myself and Slay and Nerd on you used your Wiccan against a Nick Fury. Were you kind of, I guess, what was the thing there? We've seen you do that, and we've seen you take that fight exceptionally well. The idea, though, it seemed like that Infamous probably had a faster matchup, and there was some talk about like maybe you could have held off your Wiccan for another fight. If Slay, am I getting that correct? I feel like that was kind of what
it was Elsa versus Null, and I said that he probably should have saved Wiccan because Nick has 2 health bars, so he's annoying. But I actually understood why he did that, and that's because he's running max inequity. And with Null, that's a nightmare. Is that what you were going for?
Yeah, it is, and that Null matchup is a little weird with Elsa, anyways, because you can't.
Whoa.
At all times, anyways, and like I knew it would be fast. I mentioned that in my stream as well. Like he's gonna take this down really quick. And quite frankly, like that Wiccan fight was the best Wiccan versus Fury fight I've ever had, and it still wasn't fast enough. But I was okay with that. I went into that fight knowing that I would probably lose that round because I didn't have anywhere else that I needed Wiccan later on in that round.
Got it.
But
And I was
isn't
okay
Wiccan-
with risking that.
Isn't Wiccan kind of like a Gallon in a sort of sense where you can kind of use him everywhere just because you always have access to a bunch of buffs that you can neutralize and turn into incinerates?
Yes, but I had options in that round for everything else that I'd already lined up in my head.
Okay.
So I went ahead and just stuck with my gut, and like I knew I would lose that match specifically. But later on through the rest of that round, like I felt good about the other offensive and defensive options that I had laid out.
Okay.
Anything else?
I think one thing I feel pretty bad about saying was I'm pretty sure I said something along the lines of Bryce's R4 Terax never loses or something. And that prophecy...
Dude, you have to stop it with the absolutes. Like, your jinx ratio is
It's
out
off
of
the charts.
control.
I don't think I said those exact words, but I said something like Terax like usually wins the round for Bryce. It usually is the non-absolute word.
Would he actually?
Unfortunately, it happened in like the worst way possible this time.
God,
So-
I can't believe you.
So it's your fault, basically, is what I'm hearing.
Basically, yeah. If you need someone to blame, it's my fault. So yeah.
There you go, straight from the source.
Yeah.
So no more Slay commentating.
And the last black screen we had was in a match you were actually in.
Yeah. And I actually said my Killmonger's probably gonna black screen you.
Yeah.
And that's what happened.
You said you unlocked the black screen mastery, which was strange, I thought, at the time. But now it all makes sense.
Yeah, it was one of the new masteries that came out. I was beta testing it.
This is phenomenal. I think it's so cool that we can get everyone on and laugh afterwards. Yeah. So I have linked DLL stream. DLL's not up and running yet, though, is it?
No, I haven't hit go just yet.
Okay. So let's go ahead and we can stay on the call for a few more minutes, obviously. But I do want to stream raid DLL, so we'll head over for that. Any other questions? Or any questions from Bryce and Infamous, actually?
Go ahead, Bryce.
I don't think so. I was gonna say like, nah, I don't think I have any questions.
Are you guys
I
rooting
was
for
trying to-
Fel or DLL? That's the hot question right now.
I'm gonna
I
plead
got
the
to
fifth
support
on
the
that one.
homies. Yeah.
Okay,
I'm gonna
fair
plead the
enough.
fifth.
I'm hoping for hashtag one fell swoop.
Honestly, my only takeaway from my biggest takeaway, other than that Slay needs to never talk again in a commentary, is that I need to get a hood already, man. Holy cow!
Yeah, we saw
I might need
Yeah.
one too.
you moved to the you moved to banning him. We noticed.
Yeah, he just. I realized, and I had watched again. I had watched both of Bryce's matchups and seen some of the fights he took with Hood, and I figured I could live with Gallon, because again, I don't really place that many defenders that he super hard counters, and I could live with losing around to Gallon and having other defenders work.
Yeah. All right. I know it was just asked, and I know people are asking. It wasn't just Alberto who asked right now. This is the most updated tournament bracket that we have. We've got to fill in some things. Obviously, Legacy and Spinnaker still need to go. We haven't had time to run the full math based on this, but if Legacy is able to prevail, he'll win that group. And you guys were Group F, I think, right? Or does anyone remember what group this was?
Group F.
It was Group F.
Yep, group F.
So if Legacy is able to prevail, he'll win the group, and Bryce will be 2F, which will face off against 1E, and E has Karate Mike and Simula. They still need to go. They were supposed to go Tuesday night, but Simula had sounds like maybe a little case of the flu in his family, so he had to cancel.
Yeah.
So whoever wins between Simula and Karate Mike will win 1E and face off against possibly Legacy there.
Yeah, Bryce. Yeah, so either one has a chance to face Bryce or Legacy, just depending on the last two games and what the outcomes are.
Yeah, and then DLL will be matching with Felganos. Not tonight. That's not. He's doing a different tournament this evening. But DLL will be facing off against Felganos, which I think decides Group H. And that's a big one. We saw Max with a really impressive performance tonight against
It's either
BMG.
DLL's first seed or he goes home. By home, he's already at home. But
but Slay means that is he would become in second in H, facing up against Nerd, who this is like
actually.
no,
he wouldn't. He wouldn't advance.
I'll either be first against Usafa or I'll be third.
if you lose to Fel.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Got it. I understand now. I understand. I thought you were just saying because Nerd's so good at this.
No, not this time.
Yeah.
But Nerd will be facing either Max or B.
Got it. All right. Well, I mean, the bracket is taking shape, and I kind of wish I was in it, but I'm not. And
Well, I was just about to say that one of the themes of this tournament and this bracket, for me, is how many incredible players did not make it to it. Like this tournament's been intense, man. You've put on a great one.
I thank you. I really appreciate that. It's, I mean, you guys are competing in it, so you know and see how much coordination it takes. I mean, just for you guys to schedule a match, that's not easy because you're dealing with time zones. In some cases, it's international time zones. And now, a lot of people are trying to stream it and things like that. So it's been a ton of fun. It's been an absolute ton of fun. And yeah, you're right. Like how many phenomenal players have not advanced. Anyways, any other questions from the chat or anyone in the voice chat that wants to ask anything?
Apparently, Fel got a solid streaming setup working.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So we won't have to wait 35 minutes for him to get his stream working this time.
Yeah, he did his best. We've already given him crap on it. All right. Well then, let's stream raid DLL and call it an evening. Please, I would link DLL's stream in the chat here. We'll do it again, just in case people.
Okay.
And then huge thank you to DLL, Nerd, and Slate for being on call tonight. Everyone in the chat, You guys make this so much more fun. And then, as always, to the competitors, please go support them. Their channels are linked in the chat and also in the description of this video. Thank them for putting on such an amazing showing. And while you're there, maybe watch some of their videos. They really are excellent. Thank you to both Bryce and Infamous. And then let's go ahead and we'll go DLL, then Slay, then Infamous, then Bryce to send us out.
I'm good. I think I'll probably hop off call and head over to the other one. But yeah, great job tonight, and I'll see y'all around.
What's up, guys? I'm sorry for speaking today, and it coming to life. But yeah, just a huge shout out to everyone who's watching. You make this as fun. Big shout out to Infamous and Bryce for putting on a great show. Two of genuinely the best players ever. Bryce, Infamous kicks my butt on stream for laughs like every day, and then Bryce demolished me today. So yeah, hoping for tournament 2 that Infamous can probably run the whole table back, probably, and Bryce is going to make it extremely far, and I can't wait to see how this all plays out.
I think maybe I was next, but nothing but love for the tournament. Thanks, Vega, so much again for putting it on. I'll be cheering along on the sidelines. And Bryce, nothing but love for you, dude. Go kick some butt, and good luck in the rest of the tournament, man.
Absolutely, thanks, dude. You crushed it today, and glad you and I could stay friends after this. But,
I'm thinking about it.
It's not that hardcore.
He's taking me off the friends list. He's never going to talk to me again.
Yeah, he's got a lot to think through tonight, it sounds like.
Yeah. But seriously, dude, like, nothing but love for you as well. And, Vega, thank you very much for the opportunities of this tournament and for hosting this. We've talked a lot about it. I know how organizing this whole thing is. So, I think I speak for everybody in saying that we all really appreciate it. And I look forward to, moving on further with it and seeing what happens.
You got it, man. We're looking forward to seeing you in the next round. Take care, everybody. Good night.
You too.